Julie Curtis. Julie Curtis is a contemporary painter known for her tightly cropped compositions that focus on fragments of the human body, especially hair, hands, and everyday objects. Instead of showing full figures, she isolates specific parts, turning them into the main subject. This approach immediately creates a sense of mystery and control. Her paintings are highly stylized and carefully composed. Surfaces are smooth, colors are clean, and every element feels deliberate. At first glance, the work can appear simple, but the longer you look, the more unsettling it becomes. There is often a quiet tension beneath the surface. Hair plays a central role in many of her paintings. It is not just a detail, but a structure that takes over the composition. Braids, curls, and loops are repeated in a way that almost feels architectural. This repetition creates rhythm, but also a sense of restriction, as if the subject is contained within the image. Curtis draws inspiration from advertising, film, and domestic imagery, but she reworks these references into something more ambiguous. Objects like combs, kitchen tools, or fabric are placed in ways that feel slightly off, creating a subtle psychological effect. Her work often explores themes of control, identity, and the body, but without directly explaining them. There are no clear narratives. Instead, she builds images that sit somewhere between calm and discomfort. In recent years, Julie Curtis has gained strong international attention, with her paintings standing out for their precision, clarity, and ability to turn ordinary details into something quietly intense. Hettie Inniss. Hettie Inniss is a contemporary painter whose work centers on the human figure, but in a way that avoids clear definition or fixed identity. Her paintings often show fragmented bodies and faces where features are stretched, blurred, or partially erased. This creates a sense of instability, as if the subject is shifting or unresolved. She works primarily with oil paint, building her surfaces through layers that are both added and removed over time. This process is visible in the final work. You can see areas where paint has been scraped back or reworked, leaving traces of earlier stages beneath the surface. It gives the paintings a feeling of depth, not just visually, but in terms of time and process. Inniss is less concerned with capturing likeness and more focused on the emotional weight of the figure. Her subjects often feel anonymous, even when they appear to be portraits. Faces are not presented clearly, which shifts attention away from who the person is and toward how the image feels. There is a tension in her work between control and distortion. Some parts of the painting feel carefully constructed, while others appear unstable or disrupted. This balance keeps the viewer engaged, as the image never fully settles into something familiar. Her compositions are usually minimal, with the figure placed against simple or undefined backgrounds. This isolates the subject and intensifies the focus on form and surface. Overall, Hettie Inniss uses the human figure as a starting point, but pushes it into a space where identity becomes fluid, and the painting itself becomes the main subject. Lucy Bull. Lucy Bull is a contemporary painter known for her large-scale abstract works that focus on movement, color, and visual rhythm. Her paintings don't rely on recognizable figures or objects. Instead, they are built through layers of marks, gestures, and shifting forms that guide how the viewer's eye moves across the surface. She works mainly with oil on canvas, often combining thick, expressive brushstrokes with softer, blended areas. This contrast creates a push and pull between control and spontaneity. Some sections feel dense and active, while others open up and allow space to breathe. Color plays a major role in her work. She uses bold, sometimes unexpected combinations, but they are carefully balanced. The colors are not random. They are used to create depth, tension, and flow within the painting. As you look longer, you begin to notice how one area leads into another, almost like a visual pathway. Her compositions often feel like they are in motion. There is no single focal point. Instead, the eye keeps moving, following curves, lines, and shifts in color. This makes the experience of viewing the painting feel active rather than fixed. Bou's process is intuitive, but also structured. She builds the painting over time, responding to what is already on the canvas, adjusting and refining until the composition feels resolved. Overall, Lucy Bou's work is about how a painting can hold energy. Rather than depicting something specific, she creates an experience through color, movement, and layered mark making. Katharina Grosse. Katharina Grosse is a contemporary artist known for pushing painting beyond the traditional canvas. Instead of limiting herself to flat surfaces, she uses spray guns to apply color directly onto walls, floors, buildings, and even outdoor landscapes. Her work transforms entire spaces into immersive environments. She works with industrial spray equipment, which allows her to cover large areas quickly and create soft transitions between colors. This technique gives her paintings a sense of speed and scale that is difficult to achieve with a brush. The edges are often blurred, and colors overlap in a way that feels both controlled and unpredictable. One of the key ideas in her work is that painting does not have to stay within a frame. By expanding onto architecture and surrounding space, she removes the boundary between the artwork and the environment. Viewers don't just look at the work, they move through it. Her use of color is bold and direct. Bright, saturated tones are layered across different surfaces, creating strong visual impact. At the same time, the compositions are not random. She carefully considers how color interacts with space, light, and movement. Each installation is temporary, which is also important to her practice. The work exists for a period of time and then disappears, leaving only documentation behind. Overall, Katharina Grosse redefines what painting can be by turning it into something physical and spatial, where color becomes an experience rather than just an image. Frank Bowling. Frank Bowling is a British-born painter whose work has played a major role in the development of contemporary abstraction. Over several decades, he has built a practice centered on color, material, and the physical act of painting. In the late 1960s and 1970s, he became known for his map paintings, where outlines of continents were combined with poured and stained paint. These works connected personal history, geography, and abstraction without turning into traditional representation. A key part of Bowling's process is how he applies paint. Instead of relying only on brushes, he often pours, drips, and spreads paint across large canvases. This allows gravity to become part of the process, creating flows and transitions that feel organic. The surface builds up over time with layers of acrylic gel, pigment, and texture. Color is central to his work. He uses strong, luminous tones that shift across the canvas, creating depth without relying on clear forms. Some areas feel almost transparent, while others are dense and heavily worked. Throughout his career, Bowling has continued to experiment with materials. He has embedded objects, used thick gels, and pushed the surface of the painting beyond a flat image. This gives his work a physical presence that changes depending on how you view it. Even as his style has evolved, his focus has remained consistent. His paintings are not about depicting a scene, but about exploring what paint can do over time. Overall, Frank Bowling's work stands as a long-term investigation into color, process, and the possibilities of abstraction. Laura Owens. Laura Owens is a contemporary American painter known for constantly changing her style and challenging what painting can be. Instead of sticking to one recognizable look, she moves between different approaches, combining abstraction, figuration, text, and digital elements within the same work. Her paintings often bring together influences from art history, cartoons, advertising, and digital design. You might see hand-painted marks next to printed images, or loose brushwork alongside sharp graphic lines. This mix creates a layered surface where different visual languages exist at the same time. Owens works with a wide range of materials, including oil paint, screen printing, and digital processes. In some works, she uses computer-generated imagery and then transfers it onto canvas, blending traditional painting with newer technologies. This makes her process both experimental and unpredictable. One of the key aspects of her work is how she plays with space and composition. Elements can feel flat in one area and deep in another, creating a shifting sense of perspective. There is often no single focal point, which encourages the viewer to move across the surface. Her work also includes text and symbols, sometimes partially hidden or layered into the composition. These details add another level of meaning but are not always meant to be read clearly. Each work becomes a space where different ideas, techniques, and references are tested and combined. Christopher Wool. Christopher Wool is a contemporary American artist known for reducing painting to simple, direct elements like text, pattern, and repetition. His work often looks minimal at first, but it is built through a layered and controlled process. One of his most recognizable approaches is his word paintings. These works feature bold, black stenciled letters on white backgrounds, arranged in a grid-like format. The text is often fragmented or compressed, forcing the viewer to slow down and actively read it. This turns language into a visual structure rather than just a message. Alongside text, Wool also works with abstract patterns. He uses techniques like screen printing, spraying, and wiping paint away to create layered surfaces. You can often see traces of earlier stages where parts of the image have been removed or covered, giving the work a sense of process and revision. A key aspect of his practice is repetition. Patterns are repeated across the canvas, but not perfectly. Small shifts and imperfections break the uniformity, creating tension between order and disruption. His color palette is usually limited, often focusing on black, white, and shades of gray. This restraint keeps attention on composition, surface, and structure rather than color. Wool's work is not about storytelling or representation. Instead, it focuses on how meaning can be constructed and disrupted through language and image. Overall, Christopher Wool's paintings challenge traditional ideas of expression by stripping things down and rebuilding them through repetition, text, and process. Christine Ay Tjoe is an Indonesian painter known for her large-scale abstract works that combine gestural marks with subtle references to the human figure. Her paintings often sit between abstraction and figuration, where forms appear and disappear within layers of lines and color. She works with oil, acrylic, and drawing materials, building her surfaces through repeated layering. Thin lines, scratches, and washes are added over time, creating a complex network of marks. In some areas, the paint feels light and open, while in others it becomes dense and heavy. One of the key aspects of her work is how figures are suggested rather than clearly defined. You may notice shapes that resemble bodies or faces, but they are never fully formed. This keeps the image in a constant state of change where nothing feels fixed. Her compositions often use limited color palettes, with strong contrast between light and dark. These contrasts help structure the painting, guiding the viewer through the surface without relying on clear outlines. There is also a strong emotional presence in her work, but it is not expressed through direct storytelling. Instead, it comes through the intensity of the marks and the layering process. The repetition of lines and gestures builds a sense of tension and release across the canvas. Over the years, Christine Ay Tjoe has gained international recognition, with her paintings standing out for their complexity and balance between control and spontaneity. Overall, her work explores how painting can hold both structure and uncertainty at the same time, using layered marks to suggest forms that never fully settle. Mary Weatherford. Mary Weatherford is a contemporary painter known for combining traditional painting with neon light. Her work stands out because it brings together two elements that are usually separate: painted surfaces and actual light. She works on large-scale canvases, using acrylic and other materials to build layered, abstract compositions. The painted areas often feel open and atmospheric, with washes of color that shift across the surface. Instead of focusing on detailed forms, she creates broad fields of color that suggest space and movement. What makes her work distinct is the addition of neon tubes directly onto the canvas. These lights are not just decorative, they interact with the painting, casting real light and changing how the colors are perceived. Depending on the angle and environment, the painting can look different from moment to moment. Her compositions are often inspired by specific places, especially urban environments and landscapes. However, these references are not literal. They are translated into color, light, and spatial feeling rather than clear images. Weatherford's process involves both planning and experimentation. The placement of the neon is carefully considered, but it also responds to the painting as it develops. This creates a balance between structure and spontaneity. Overall, Mary Weatherford expands the idea of painting by introducing light as an active material, turning the work into something that exists between a painting and an installation. Juan Uslé. Juan Uslé is a Spanish painter known for his abstract works that are built through repetition, rhythm, and controlled gesture. His paintings often look simple at first, but they are carefully constructed over long periods of time. One of his most recognized bodies of work is the series often referred to as Soñé que revelabas, where he creates horizontal bands of brush strokes across the canvas. These marks are repeated again and again, forming a kind of visual rhythm that feels steady but not mechanical. Each stroke carries slight variations which keeps the surface active. Uslé works primarily with acrylic and oil, layering paint in a way that allows earlier marks to remain visible. This gives the paintings a sense of depth and accumulation. The process is slow and deliberate, with each layer responding to the previous one. A key idea in his work is time. The repetition of marks is not just a visual choice, but also a record of duration and movement. Some of his paintings are even connected to his physical rhythm, such as his pulse, turning the act of painting into something almost meditative. Color in his work is often restrained. He tends to work within limited palettes, using contrast between light and dark or subtle shifts in tone to create structure. This restraint allows the viewer to focus more on the rhythm and surface. Overall, Juan Uslé's paintings are less about image and more about process, repetition, and the experience of time translated into paint.